Gearing up for the big day because just in 2 days, this Friday, Fox 8 is hosting our very first Zoom wedding with a local bride and groom.
Yeah, while we were able to find the perfect couple, finding a way to broadcast their nuptials posed a bit of a challenge.
But we have figured it out. That's where Wedfuly comes in. This is it's a company, I should say, that has produced over 500 virtual weddings for couples all over the world. And today, we are chatting with Caroline Creedenberg. She's the founder and CEO of Wedfuly to see how this all works. Caroline, who would have thought in 2017, when you came up with this, that you'd be now at the forefront of virtual weddings?
Not me, definitely not me. What a wacky 2020, but there's definitely been some joy that has come out of it.
So talk about how this all came to be. Natalie brought it up that you started this back a couple of years, really about 2.5, 3 years before the pandemic. I mean, you were like seeing into the future, but how did you start and feel that there was a need for something like this back then?
So I can't take credit for being that smart and that futuristic. Back in 2017, we were actually doing virtual wedding planning. So all of our couples were getting married in person, but we were doing the planning virtually. And then when March 2020 hit, we pivoted very quickly. And thank goodness we were already doing some aspects virtually. It really helped. But we actually did our first virtual wedding on March 28th in 2020.
Wow.
Well, talk about how you do it technically, because we're going to have to, work this thing out before Friday. So how difficult is it?
Yes, and we were actually just on our AV call yesterday. I joke with a lot of news people that I feel like I'm in old newsland where we have a bunch of different angles set up and we're hopping from angle to angle. It's really neat to see kind of the DIY low production, although it looks so high production, and that they're able to do it in their house all by themselves. But yeah, we just use cell phones, which is really easy. We connect them all to Zoom. We have a collaboration with Zoom, so that's our platform of choice. And we jump from angle to angle as the activity is happening. We have a very simple audio setup, and Amy and Adam will actually be doing all of the setup at home by themselves, which is so great so that everyone can stay safe. And we've made it easy enough that they can do that.
Well, I think, too, we've been doing a lot of research and reading about your company, and what it seems that everyone that participates and is able to be part of it says that they feel like everyone has a front row seat, and it does feel really intimate. That I guess initially you think, oh, a Zoom wedding, you're not there, and it's got to feel strange, but you guys kind of really take that away, and it actually even feels kind of more special.
Yeah, I think that's been the most magical thing of the years. You hear Zoom wedding, you hear virtual wedding, and I think a lot of us think just sitting in our living room, maybe watching something on the side while we're eating, but we really aim to make it as interactive and special as possible for the guests. And like you said, I mean, you have an angle right there, tomorrow or on Friday, you'll see Amy and Adam, they'll each have a vow camera on them. So you'll see their reactions, you'll be up there close and personal. And I don't think you ever get that at a real wedding, even if you're sitting front row.
So true. I think one of the most touching components is we know with Amy's grandmother, she wouldn't normally be able to even be there. So you're creating that moment for someone who might not have been in the mix. You're really allowing all of the bells and whistles to still be available to couples wedding day.
Yes, and that's super important to us. This is not a wedding. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, this is a good option for your wedding, like as an alternative, but we don't see it that way in any way, shape, or form. This is your wedding. This is the big day. Whatever you want to do, we're here to execute on. And we've done, like you said, over 500. So we've really seen everything that works super well, and we're able to give them advice on how to make sure they don't have to cut out anything that they wanted to include in their typical wedding.
Well, Caroline, we look forward to working with you on Friday, so it should be very interesting, and I'll just keep my fingers crossed that, everything works out perfectly, because it is a big day, no doubt about that.
Yes,
but you're an expert.
You're in great hands, so I'm excited to have you there.
All right. All right. The bride, the groom, and the Zoom will take place once again this Friday right here on Fox 8 News in the morning.
I love their motto. They said, you handle the love, we'll handle all the tech part, and that is awesome, right? It's not intimidating to the couple that they handle all that.
their own wedding planner right there for them.
Yeah,
Very
hey,
easy.
maybe in-person weddings will be a thing of the past one day. Who knows?
I
Huh?
know, right?
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper on Zoom. I
That's
guess.
right. You don't have to have uncomfortable shoes, too, when
That's
you're there.
true.
Very
right?
true.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
You can sit in your jammies or in your fluffy slippers and
Right. Yeah.
cheer on your family member.
I know. All right.